you want to move to Portsmouth, Virginia, and you're not exactly sure where to move or if it's the right city for you? Well, today we're talking about my top 10 neighborhoods in Portsmouth that are affordable and under $300,000, and we're starting right now. Hey, my name is Sam Sansalone and I'm a real estate agent in Hampton Roads, Virginia. And if it's your first time here, welcome. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, then you'll be notified every time I do a video, which is every Wednesday about Hampton Roads and about real estate. And today we're talking about the top 10 neighborhoods that are affordable in Portsmouth, Virginia. And when I talk about affordable, my range for this in this case is under $300,000 because everybody has different meanings for the word affordable, right? So we'll talk about some that are just under $300,000 and some that are a little bit lower, and to give people some balance and some options depending on which price range you're looking at. But first, I want to talk about a couple things to keep in mind if you're looking to buy in Portsmouth that are different from other cities. And you'll need to factor these things into if you want to buy here or not. The number one thing is the tolls. I've said in other videos before about the tolls in Portsmouth and going from the south side in Virginia Beach and Norfolk, commuting across to Portsmouth and back and forth can cost, anywhere from $50 to $60, $70, $80-ish a month or so going back and forth through that tunnel. So if you buy a house in Portsmouth and you commute to Virginia Beach or Norfolk or Chesapeake, you might find that you're paying an extra $75-ish a month to do that. So you have to factor that into the price that you buy your house in Portsmouth for. So that $75 a month can be about an extra $10,000 or $12,000 worth of mortgage. So a house you buy in Portsmouth for $250 could be the same equivalent of payment for Virginia Beach at $260. That being said, the second thing that influences payment in Portsmouth is the higher taxes. Portsmouth has a much higher tax rate than Virginia Beach or Chesapeake or Norfolk. So the taxes you're paying in Portsmouth could be $300, $400, $500 or more dollars a year more in Portsmouth, in the house in Portsmouth than in the Virginia Beach or Norfolk house. So that means you could be paying $30, $40, $50 a month more in Portsmouth for the same house as in Virginia Beach or that area over across through the tunnel. So if you add the tolls and the higher taxes, you might end up paying about $120 a month more for the same house that you would be paying in Virginia Beach. So that could be about $20,000 more of equivalent of mortgage. So the house you're buying in Portsmouth at $250 now is the equivalent of $270 or so in Virginia Beach or Norfolk or Chesapeake. The sales price doesn't tell the entire story. I don't want to get into too much of the specifics about Portsmouth. I went into more about that in the pros and cons of living in Portsmouth, Virginia video I did up here. So if you do want to get more context about Portsmouth, click on that video and watch that. So in all these neighborhoods, I'll group them in by area. So there will be several neighborhoods that could be clustered together because the locations are all very close together. So number one is the area of Cavalier Forest and Hatton Point. This is right off of Cedar Lane, just north of High Street on the western side of Portsmouth. Now the price ranges between $200 and $275-ish, 1,500 to 2,500 square feet. There are a lot of brick ranch style homes and they're very close to water, which a lot of these neighborhoods are close to water, but the ones closest to the water are much higher than $300,000, which makes these more desirable because you're closer to a higher price neighborhood. Number two, Green Acres and Sterling Point. Again, these are closer to water, but the ones on the water are over $300,000. But if you go inland just a little bit, you'll get a 1,500 to 2,500-ish square foot a house in the $200,000 to $300,000 range. There's a wide range, and again, if you're looking for a lower priced house, this is a great neighborhood to look into because you're near homes that are a lot more expensive. Still a lot of brick homes and some Cape Cod as well. Number three, this is for those who are looking for newer homes. Newport is the neighborhood. Now, a lot of homes that are new or newer in Portsmouth are built in pre-existing neighborhoods. So you might see a whole neighborhood of older homes and then one just built randomly that's brand new. So it can be kind of hard to find planned subdivisions in anywhere in the south side. But Newport is one of those areas that is a planned subdivision that it kind of developed over time. It's been about 10 years or more since they started building these, but the whole area now is larger and it feels like a large planned area. One thing about this area is you're right close to an older section of town, as you can see here panning across, but then once you drive in, it's all these brand new to 10-year-old home. There are some townhomes that start in the 175 to 200 range, but then the single family homes are mostly between 225 and 285. And the sizes are pretty nice for what you're paying for. The townhomes are about 1,900 square feet, and these single family homes are anywhere from 18 to 23-ish hundred square feet. So they're decent size for the price. Now number 4 is one of my favorites, WATERVIEW in GLENSHEALLAH. This is right near the High Street Bridge. It connects the central and eastern side of Portsmouth to the west side of Portsmouth. This is right near the water, but there are a lot of homes that are not on the water but close. The ones that are on the water, of course, are higher than 300,000 for the most part, but there are a lot right close to it that are under 300 and much lower than that. And they have some great character. I love, they're older, they're built in the 1900s, 1910s, 20s, 30s, and 40s. They have some awesome neighborhood streets. The trees are amazing, like you're really close to the water. And if you can get one on the water for pretty cheap, you have hit a home run. Now, they're mostly bricked, 1,500 square feet to 2,500 square feet, and these two neighborhoods connect to most of Portsmouth on both sides pretty easily. Now number 5 is the two neighborhoods EDGEFIELD and MERRIFIELDS. These are a little bit lower priced. Now the max is probably around the 260, 270 range, but most of them are in that 200 to 225. Built in the 60s and the 70s. This is on the northwestern side of Portsmouth. And they're a little bit smaller, 1,400 to 2,000 square feet. But if you want to stay in the affordable price range and low, like in that low 200s and sometimes even upper 100s, this is a good place to start. Maybe you can get a good deal in there and get a nice neighborhood as well. Now number 6 is Elizabeth Acres and Pine Acres. These are also a little bit lower price, 175 to 235 in that range, and the square feet is 1,400 to 2,000 square feet. Same idea. These are close to the water, but right on the water, you're going to be paying over 300,000 for it. And as well, these are also built in the 1950s. Now, as you can see here on the map, you can see that it's pretty close to the intersection of Interstate 264 and 664. So you're in that corridor of interstates where you can get to a lot of things pretty easily on the western side of town. Now number 7, there's 4 neighborhoods here: Hidden Cove, Stone Mill Estates, Long Point, and Bishop's Green. These are on the northwestern side of Portsmouth. You can see here, close to Suffolk. You're getting close to Suffolk now. But they're tucked away in the corner right off of Twin Pines Road. These are the ones I like because they're newer. So some people that might want something newer, and I'm saying newer, 1990s and 2000s, these are neighborhoods to check out. Some of them actually remind me of places in South Chesapeake, especially Long Point. They're tucked away into their own separate neighborhoods right next to each other. Long Point itself has townhouses as low as 125 to 160, but the single family homes are over 200,000. From 200 to 300 mostly, and some are higher than that. But you can get a real nice home for 260, 270, 280 in these neighborhoods. Now, one thing I'll mention about this area is if you want to get back to the other parts of Portsmouth or Norfolk, Route 164 or the Western Freeway is right near these neighborhoods. So you can take that and go east down to the far east side of Portsmouth, or keep going through the Midtown Tunnel or connect to the Downtown Tunnel and enter into Norfolk. So this is kind of like the short bypass from that northwestern side of Portsmouth down into Norfolk. And number 8 is Green Lakes and Elizabeth Manor. These are close to some of the other neighborhoods we've talked about already. It's smushed in between Portsmouth Boulevard on the north and Airline Boulevard on the south, and just south of that is 264. So it'll take you a few minutes to get to the interstate, but once you're there, of course, it's easier access to the tunnel into Norfolk, as well as 264 west to 664. These houses are anywhere from 1,500 square feet to 3,000 square feet. Now they're built in the 1960s and 1970s primarily, and they go anywhere between 200 to 275 for the most part. And some of these streets are named after golfing or golfers. Sneed Parkway is one. There's one that's named after Arnold Palmer. There is what's called Green Lake in this area, and there are some homes on the lake that are in the higher price range in this neighborhood, but still affordable. I'd still say in that $300,000 range. Now number 9, this is on the lower price range, Park Manor. This one is a pretty large neighborhood. As you can see, there's a lot of rolling, small little hills. There's some funny corners to the streets in some of these places, and the lot sizes are funny shapes. It's kind of quirky and I like it. These start in the low 100s, 140, 150 for the most part, and go up from there up to as much as 275 and higher near the water. So it's pretty wide range, and the houses are as low as 1,200 square feet up to, you know, about 1,800 square feet, sometimes a little bit higher, but that average about 1,500 square feet or so. A lot of ranch style, a lot of Cape Cod, as you see a lot in these neighborhoods, which is, again, the Cape Cod is when you have It's 2-story, but the top story has that sloped roof stairwell that goes up, and then 2 bedrooms, 1 split on each side. That's often what the Cape Cod style ends up being designed like. So you can get pretty easy access to the northwestern side and easy access to the eastern side of Portsmouth. But because of that, you're not immediately close to anything, but you're not too far away from anything either. And number 10, which is one of my favorites, I have a special place in my heart for these 2 neighborhoods, West Parkview and SHEA Terrace. Some of my best friends grew up in these neighborhoods. They are closer to the more central and east side of Portsmouth, closer to the downtown area. This is kind of an older section of town, but the further you go into the neighborhoods, into the back and near the water, you'll see some real nice quiet streets, and these are priced lower as well. So you'll find that the ones closer to the main roads are in the lower and the mid high 100s, but as you go further back, they're 200, 250, and sometimes even on the water, 300 and up. So you can get a good deal sometimes in these neighborhoods. They're really great character homes built in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, and 40s mostly. So if you want character and also close to downtown, these are 2 places that I would recommend you try first. And I will see you on the next video.